welcome back to the 21 Convention 2018 of Orlando, Florida. Our next speaker is the best-selling author of Mode 1. He is a godfather of direct game and is a returning speaker to the 21 Convention platform. Please help me welcome to the stage, Alan Roger Currie.
Kick ass.
So as I was saying last year, this chick was sucking my dick. You are here. And I'm back. Because see, for some of you all, I know, because I've dealt with it myself, I know you had a little hater voice. You had a voice that said, I'm never going to have a physique like Jack Donovan. I'm never going to be as intellectually profound and articulate as Rolo. Never going to get pussy with a camera like Goldman Unleashed. So that little hater voice was saying, stay at home, stay at home. Don't fly there, stay at home. But you're here. You're here. So since you're here, I want you to think of all your past disappointments, past frustrations, the goals you failed to achieve, the objectives you failed to accomplish. Put that shit in the past. No pity parties on my watch. When you wake up in the morning, you say, ask yourself, are you ready for the challenge of the next day in front of me? Are you ready for the challenge of the next day in front of you? The past is the past. Extract the morsels of wisdom from those unexpected episodes of adversity. Use it as fuel for motivation and get pumped. Get re-energized. You're on a mission. That mission continues. And that's why you're here. Because you want to kick things up to the next level. Now, last year when I spoke, I challenged some guys to create a breakthrough moment where they conquered some type of major fear. And I've had at least 3 guys come up to me who were here last year. One guy, he's not here today. He's one of security. I hope he doesn't mind me calling him up by name. Named Keaton. Now, it's funny. Keaton, he's a brother. And if you study how brothers interact with brothers, we're characters. Because last year when I approached Keaton, he was just real cool, like, yeah, what's up? Like, I don't know you. I don't know nothing about you. You don't impress me. But then after my speech, he came to me, he was like, oh my God, man, that was awesome. And so he came to me this year. He said there were some things I said that caused him to have a breakthrough moment. I had another guy. I'm not going to call him out. If you look at him, he's kind of shy, mild-mannered guy. And people know about the Mode 1 approach, know it's about being bold and straightforward. And he said he was having a conversation with a young lady, and she challenged him. She said basically, why are you talking to me? And he was going to give her some bullshit. Then he looked at, I told him, looked dead in the eyes. He looked at dead in the eyes. He said, I'm talking to you because I want to fuck you. Now, here's the thing. He admitted this to me. Now, externally, he was confident as hell. He was like, talking to you because I want to fuck you. But he said inside, he was like, please don't hit me. Please don't slap me. Oh, my God. Please don't hit me. Don't throw a drink in my face. But he said externally, he's like, yeah, that's why I'm talking to you, because I want to fuck you. And he said, she just looked at him. I said, I prepared him for this. I said, when you come with that alpha erotic dominance, women are going to look at you. They're going to challenge you. Like, are you really being alpha with me? She did that to him. And he matched it. He didn't back down. He basically like, yeah, I said it. And he said they had a stare off. And again, he said internally, he's like, oh my God, she's going to curse me out. She was like, wow. I've never had a guy like say that to me. Like, You know, you got balls. He said, yeah, you damn right. Breakthrough moment, baby. So from this point forward, you're going to either compete, spectate, or God forbid, quit. Now, there's some people in the last year that quit. There's a guy, Anthony Bourdain. I was actually a fan of his. I wanted to do a travel dating show. I wanted to be to dating relationships what he was to basically restaurants and chefs. Travel to different cities, finding nuanced differences in the dating culture. So I was a fan of his. But he quit the game. I don't want any of you all to quit the game. I want you to compete. This journey called life, compete. Now, there's some people, they don't quit, but they spectate. If that's their choice, so be it. If they hang around me for too long, I won't allow it. But, man, there's some guys, their sex life is Pornhub and masturbation. That's spectating. You watching a guy that more than likely got a better physique than you, bigger cock than you, and that's your whole life. You spectating, living vicariously through that guy on Pornhub. No, man. No. Compete. Compete until you take, you always hear NFL players when they have a tough loss, or NBA players, any sport, if they're on the losing end, but it was a hard-fought battle, and they're being interviewed, they'll say, man, this loss was hard to take, but I left everything on the floor. I left everything on the floor. So when you take your last breath, and let's say, I don't know if, St. Gabriel meets you at the pearly gates, whoever in the afterlife might interview you, will you be able to say, I left everything on the floor? All the challenges that came your way? I left everything on the floor. Now here's the thing. Not only will the challenges of life essentially try to bully you, unexpected adversity, again, that hater voice try to bully you. And I know somebody's sitting in this audience right now thinking about, I don't know, let's call him Billy Johnson, that guy in the 5th grade that just bullied you. And you're like, man, that dude used to bully me. Karma came back on Billy Johnson. He's in prison somewhere, somebody's bitch. That boss that unfairly fired you, you're thinking to yourself, man, he fired me. Take solace. He's at somebody's car wash, called him out. But here's what you underestimate. The opposite gender will bully you too. They will bully you too. In what way? You better act the way I want you to act, or you're not getting any of this. What'd you say? What'd you say? You better act right, or you're not getting none of this. And what do they want you to become? They're puppy dog. That's what I call it. They're obedient puppy dog. And some guys, they give in to that. Here he is, Fred HMwas. He's so good. Did you deposit that money in my checking account? You're such a good boy. Did you buy my clothes? You're such a good boy. Anybody raising their hand, you want to be a woman's obedient puppy dog? It's about backbone, fellas. I love pussy as much as the next guy. But I'm not going to sacrifice my sense of self-respect. I'm not going to sacrifice my sense of dignity just for some wet, warm pleasure around my dick. I'm the man, goddammit. And so are you. So let's get started. Last year, I mainly talked about my main book, Mode 1. I touched on this, didn't really touch on these two at all. I'm going to touch more on these three. But to give you the quick recap, that's my first book, Mode 1. I did a 2017 updated version. My first version of Mode 1 came out in April of 1999. First paperback version, March of 2006. That's my main emphasis, verbal communication skills. That's underrated. Because, you know, at this conference, you hear a lot of guys talking about the whole alpha and beta, and I'll be talking about that later on in this conversation. But a lot of guys have this impression that alpha means super big muscles, being 6'5", being super athletic, being a 7th degree black belt. But here's the truth. Starting with my high school days, I've known guys who were so-called tough guys, big muscles, could fight, could whoop any guy's ass, but when they got in the company of women, they were verbal cowards. They were bitches. Now this is for the guy who said to me, he said, Alan, I heard when you speak, you keep shit real. Keep shit real. They were bitches. I listen to every guy. Like some guys have caught me. There's been a couple guys at this very conference. They say, Alan, you study people when you're talking to them. I say, I most certainly do. I listen to how people converse, their vocal inflections, particularly in conjunction with their eye contact. I can read through a lot of facades. Fear of rejection. Fear of rejection. A lot of people, well, I shouldn't say, well, a lot of people in general, but let's focus on men. A lot of men want that magic pill. How can I have sex with as many women as possible, but never be rejected? Newsflash, never gonna happen. That's like a baseball player wanting to hit home runs, but never strike out. If you're a baseball fan, you know most of the top home run hitters have the most strikeouts in the league. Anybody can tell me, Alan, well, I got rejected the other day. I've been rejected probably more than anybody sitting in here. But that fear can be profound, man. To the point where you don't want to approach women at all. If you're willing to be honest, raise your hand if there's been multiple times where you were scared to approach a woman because of a profound fear of rejection. Okay, that's quite a few. This is what most guys do when they have a profound fear of rejection. They either avoid approaching women at all, or they'll engage in what I call these friendly, flattering, entertaining, non-threatening conversations, where they never really lay out any desires, interests, or intentions on the table. Golly, the weather is great, isn't it? Golly, do you come to this restaurant all the time? And see, there's some pickup artists that will take advantage of that. They'll make you think that if you get a woman to be receptive to friendly, flattering, entertaining, non-threatening conversation, that you have a chance. No, you don't. What woman is going to dislike you if you're engaging in friendly, flattering, entertaining, non-threatening conversation with them? Of course she's going to look at you as a nice guy. Of course she is. What criticisms, what prospect do you have of being called a jerk or an asshole because you're engaging in 45 minutes of friendly, flattering, entertaining, non-threatening conversation? Here's the thing, before I get past this slide, fear of rejection. Guys will say, I'm scared to approach this woman. I'll say, so ultimately, you're scared of rejection because you're afraid that you might do something or say something that will prevent you from gaining access to that woman's romantic or strictly sexual companionship. You'll say yes. Okay? But if you don't approach her at all, you will not gain access to her sexual attention and companionship at all. Yeah, I guess now that you put it like that. So in other words, you're scared of not getting something you already don't have. That just hit a lot of you fellas, didn't it? Like, damn, I never thought about it like that. Second most profound fear, the fear of receiving criticisms, insults, negative reactions. That's another misleading thing. A lot of guys have this mistaken impression that if you get a so-called positive reaction, that automatically leads that you're going to end up having sex with that woman. So let me ask you, has every guy in this room slept with every woman who gave them a positive reaction? Raise your hand. That's what I thought. I've slept with many women who initially said, Alan, you're an asshole. Alan, you're a jerk. Alan, you're so egotistical. Alan, you're so cocky. Alan, you're so full of yourself. And you know what's fun about that? Is when you're fucking them and you say, what did you call me? An asshole. Say it again. Asshole. But what am I doing right now? Fucking me? Say it again. Fucking me? But what am I? Cocky asshole? Say it again. I know some of y'all gonna use that shit. Now, this is recap from last year. I'm gonna try to skip through this as fast as possible because I talked about the three types of relationships. Every relationship you want from a woman is either gonna be strictly sexual, strictly non-sexual, and sexual plus non-sexual. Okay? You got that? Verbally direct approach. When a man verbally communicates to a woman his desire to spend time with her in either a romantic, meaning sexual plus non-sexual, or a strictly sexual manner within the first few minutes of his very first conversation with the woman. And that's mode one. And we talked about this last year. Now, I know some of you guys weren't here, so I don't want to disrespect the guys who weren't here last year, but I'm assuming, hopefully, the vast majority of you saw my presentation from last year, but I did want to do this quick recap. Mode 3, mode 4. Mine, here's what I believe. Once you do lay your desires, interests, and intentions on the table, all women are going to fall into one of these 5 archetypes. Reciprocator, that's your luckiest day. That's your luckiest day. When you meet a woman saying, I want to fuck you, and she says, I want to fuck you too. That's going to be the greatest day of your life, man. Every time that happens. I want you to suck my dick. I want to suck your dick too. It's the rarest woman you'll meet, but, again, the most gratifying. Rejector, again, we talked about rejection. Nobody likes to be rejected. I don't like to be rejected. It's like Michael Jordan. He said, I don't like to lose, but I'm not scared to lose. I don't like being rejected, but I'm not afraid of rejection. And I'll touch on that in a moment because women know how to capitalize on your fear of rejection. Wholesome pretenders. Now, those first 2 types are what I call your straightforward non-manipulative types. But then the 3 trickier types is wholesome pretenders, erotic hypocrites, and manipulative time wasters. This is a book I touched on briefly last year, but I'm going to touch on a little bit more this year. Ooh, say it again. Mastering the Fine Art of Verbal Seduction and Oral Sex. Came out with the ebook and paperback in December 2011 and the audiobook version in 2015. See, a lot of guys like to put women into these two, what I call convenient categories. She's a good girl, but she's a slut. She's a good girl, but she's a slut. Now, you can say that was halfway valid if we're talking about 1918, 1928, 1938, but in today's society? Matter of fact, I forgot to do my little thing. See, if anybody watches my YouTube, where's my main camera? I do this thing where I start my videos with a beverage. And I hold it up. So that's one of my trademarks on my YouTube videos. And when somebody either asks me a stupid question or says something stupid, I say, insert. Well, I'll get to that in a second. But there, insert dog face here. So if you've already read Who Said Again or listened to the audiobook, you know I place women in 5 categories. Oh, I didn't set that up well, but I was basically saying, nope, they don't fall into those 2 convenient categories anymore. One of my most popular videos is called The Myth of the Prudish, Monogamy-Oriented Good Girl. One of the reasons why a lot of guys are scared to say sexually provocative things to women because they're scared they're going to upset a good girl's sexual sensibilities. Newsflash. No fucking good girls in today's society. There might be, the way I say, there might be 1%, 2%, maybe being generous, 3%, 4% of women who are saving themselves for their husband for marriage. But today, women are fucking at the age of 11, 12, 13 years old. There's women by the time they're 25, they've been fucking for 10 years. I know that guy sitting there right now. Damn, this guy does keep it real. Shit. It's a myth, man. Here's the reason I call it myth, and there's a book I promote from time to time by a guy named Daniel Bergner. It's called What Do Women Want? Anybody familiar with that book? If you're familiar with that book, you know that he criticizes us, his own gender, as I tend to, and I have a lot of haters and critics because of it. But essentially what he says is that men, there's a lot of things that men believe about women because they want to believe it about women. Let me repeat that. Men believe certain things about women because they want to believe those things about women, because it makes them sleep better at night. And one of those things is, well, women are born with more monogamous tendencies than men are. That's bullshit. Women like to fuck just like we do. You better believe that shit. They love to fuck. You know the female sex toy industry is $1 billion industry? You think these women are using that shit in the kitchen? Their pussies get wet, they play with their pussies. Oh, wait, what did I do wrong? What happened? Oh, okay. 5s. Okay, I said I divided them into 5 categories. Okay, I'm going too fast. What I call, and who said again, a 5, that is a genuine good girl. That's a woman who will only engage in sexual relations with a man who is her husband or at bare minimum, her fiance. So if you find a 5, then you have, if you're in search of that, proverbial good girl, if you find a 5, you found her. It's not so much, again, that woman is born with this biological impulse to be monogamous, but her social programming of a concept I talk about all the time, I heard even 1 or 2 other speakers talk about, nicknamed cultural conditioning, social brainwashing. Her social programming is so strong that she's willing to control her sexual desires and urges and save herself for her husband. A 4, that's a woman who prefers to only engage in sexual relations with a man who is their husband, their fiance, or their long-term boyfriend, but at least occasionally they're going to engage in 1 or more episodes of non-monogamous casual sex. A 3, that's a woman who will publicly present herself to men as if they're a 5 or at least a 4, but privately they get down, which is what I refer to as your wholesome pretenders and erotic hypocrites. See, a wholesome pretender, that's a woman that if you propose casual sex to her, she's going to always initially say, no, I'm not that kind of girl. No, I only have sex with my boyfriend. Oh, really? Is that right? So you telling me you don't want to feel my dick in your pussy? Oh, you're bad. You're nasty. Then you end up fucking. A 2 is a woman who really likes to get down behind closed doors. But again, publicly, she's going to present herself as a 4, again, the good girl. Or if not present herself as a good girl, this is my archetype of the erotic hypocrite. Erotic hypocrite is similar to a wholesome pretender. But she, in addition to wanting to protect her good girl image, she thinks men should wine and dine her for the pussy. And 1, that's just a woman who's openly freaky. Social programming, I already talked about that. Now, I talked about social programming. Organized religion is one of the factions of society. I talk about this in my book, The Beta Male Revolution, that promotes the idea of monogamy, for better or for worse. So does media and entertainment. So does certain aspects of the public school system. And many of your parents, your siblings, other family members, and elders in the community or your culture. Manipulative head games. I talked about a lot of that last year, so I don't want to. Well, I'll talk about it in relation to, here's my next book, Possibility of Sex. Now, guys in the seduction community, PUA community, they want to always say, Alan, so what's the great benefit of being direct? Like, I'm an indirect guy. And I think indirect is okay. Like, what's so wrong with being indirect? Well, number one, if you want to meet a woman and talk about the weather for 10 minutes and talk about, you played football in high school for 20 minutes and all that other bullshit that has nothing to do with getting a woman's pussy wet, go right ahead. But here's the deal. One of my archetypes is the woman called the manipulative time waster. And it's funny, of my 5 archetypes, a lot of other PUAs and dating coaches, they do not like to acknowledge the existence of manipulative time wasters. What is a manipulative time waster? I already emphasized this, but I'm going to emphasize this again. Friendly, flattering, flirtatious, and entertaining conversation with women means jack. Okay? You guys get that? If a woman's laughing at all your jokes, that doesn't mean she's going to suck your dick at the end of the night. Just means she enjoys being entertained by you. She listens to all your stories that sound interesting, and she's smiling, and you thinking, God, I'm in there. No. Women love men's non-sexual companionship much more, honestly, than we do theirs. Men could go weeks, months, even years without a woman's non-physical, non-sexual companionship. Guys laugh like, that's like an understatement. We can't. I've never had a male friend that said, damn, man, it's been so long since I spent time with a woman platonically, man. It's driving me crazy, dude. I can't take it. I need to be around some women platonically. It's just not in our DNA makeup. But you better believe women love your company in a non-physical, non-sexual manner. To the point where, going back to this, title, The Possibility of Sex. How do they sell you on the idea of spending time with them? There you go. See, that's the difference between them and just straight up rejectors. Rejectors are women. See, a lot of guys look at rejectors as the enemy, but those women, you should appreciate those women who straightforwardly reject you, because they're letting you know, basically, you're never getting this pussy. Don't even try. Don't waste your time, exactly. Manipulative time waster, they always want you to think you that close to getting a pussy. Well, if you go with me and my girlfriends to these bowling events for the next 5 weeks, I don't know. Anything can happen. I don't know. Anything can happen. I mean, like, I've been like going to bowling with you for the last 8 weeks. That 9th week might be your lucky week. Who knows? They love to use that vague, ambiguous language like, you never know. Possibly. Maybe. There's 4 things that manipulative time wasters want from men while avoiding engaging in sex with them. To be flattered. See, before I wrote this book, a lot of guys wrote me feedback saying, Alan, I thought money was the only thing that women use men for. No. You will have women just concentrate on number 1, to be flattered. You will have women that say they went to a party and they didn't get as many compliments as they wanted. So guess what they do? They call one of you guys. Hey, Joey, you doing anything? No, I'm just like playing video games. Like, what's up? Like, you know, like you saw those pictures I put all over Facebook and Instagram. Like, didn't they look sexy? Oh, shit, you look like a goddess. You look like a fucking goddess. You look sexy as hell. Really? They knew that guy was going to say that. But they act like, really? You think they like that one bikini shot? You think, oh man, that was so hot. Golly. So once you satiated their ego, guess what they say? Okay, Joey, I got to go. Take care. You like, fuck. Joey thought he was in there. He's like, shit, you know, she called me. I'm that close to getting that pussy. I'm that close. He's that close. Some women will use you just to flatter their ego and get an ego boost their self-esteem. Number 2, women love to be entertained. And this is why the media and entertainment industry plays up the women. Before I became a dating coach, that was the industry I was pursuing a career in. I used to pitch scripts as a screenwriter. You know, I would pitch scripts to these different Hollywood executives, and they would say, yeah, Alan, pretty well-written script, but number 1, you got a lot of fucking in here. You know, this character gets his dick sucked like 12 times in this movie. But beyond that, I don't know how to say this, but you just keep it a little too real in your criticism of women. I mean, no woman is going to buy movie tickets to see this movie. I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. And they would look at me like, well, if you want to make a living, you better give a fuck. And in so many words, they would tell me, in this industry, we play up to who's putting money in our pockets, and that's women. Statistics show women buy more movie tickets than men do. To get men out to movies, you got to get Sly Stallone and a few other guys to kick some ass and shit and blow up some shit, men will come out. But anything they perceive as halfway as a chick flick, they're not going. But those women will come out in droves, man. They'll bring out their sister and grandmother. So entertainment industry is going to play up to women. #MeToo. Women love to be entertained. They will use you just to be entertained. Women will call you just for you to engage. Like, say they're bored and lonely on a Friday night. Golly, that asshole, womanizer number 1, he hasn't called me asshole, womanizer number 2. Let me call Billy. Hey, Billy, how you doing? Billy's like, hey, what's up, Linda? hey, how you doing? What does Billy think? He like, yeah, I'm going to get that pussy. She called me. And she's like, tell me that funny story you said 2 weeks ago at the bowling alley. Oh, that one where, the guy put the popcorn bowl in his head. And Billy tells the story. She laughs. And then she just hangs up. And Billy's like, fuck. This is obvious. Financial and non-financial favors. Manipulative time wasters are good at doing that. And they know, manipulative time wasters trust. They are savvy. Again, they know they can't just say, hey, spend some money on me. By the way, you're never getting this pussy. They'll say, hey, if you take me out to dinner, who knows what can happen afterwards? Who knows? If you help me move these heavy boxes from my old apartment to my new apartment, I might be just so thankful that, who knows? And a lot of you guys fall for it. And this was the worst one, man. I think I might have even touched on that last year. The emotionally empathetic listening ear. I would arguably say that's the worst of the four. How many are already familiar with me talking about that? Raise your hand if you're already familiar with it. Only a couple of hands, a few hands. So it's a lot of guys who are not. This is the emotionally empathetic listening ear. Where the woman calls you over her place on a Friday night. And again, what are you thinking? I'm in there. It's Friday night. She invite me over to the apartment. I'm in there. I'm going to get that. I'm going to have sex with her. And then once you get over there, she's like, Troy, I can't believe this. And you're like, what's wrong, Amber? What's wrong? You remember that guy, Chad, I told you about? Yeah, the guy that's like a dick. Yeah, like, he came over the other day, right? He was just slapping his dick all on my face. And then, like, he was stinging. He just was slapping his dick on my face. And then he was, like, sucked his dick bitch. And then he was just, putting it in my mouth. And he was coming all in my mouth. God, that guy's an asshole. He's lucky I wasn't here. I would have whooped his ass. Such a dick. Yeah, and then right after he left, then the other guy, his name was Chad too, and he was just like pulling my hair real hard, and he was slapping my ass, and just fucking me, and fucking me, and fucking me, and fucking me, and fucking me. He's like, okay, Amber, I get the point. I mean, both those Chads are just assholes. Don't you think they are, Troy? Yeah, they're dicks, man. They're dicks. They lucky I wasn't here. See, Troy, you're so sweet. I just love you so much. You're such a sweetheart. And Troy, he's thinking, man, I'm the good guy here. I'm going to get it. But guess what happens next Friday, next Saturday? Same thing. Troy, I met this new guy in the library. You're not going to believe his name is Chad. And he just starts finger fucking me in the library. And I'm like, you shouldn't be doing this. And he's like, nobody's around. God, he's such a dick. What are all these guys dicks? Part 2 of the book, Possibility of Sex, I talk about 5 types of women that you should never enter into a long-term relationship, even in some cases a short-term. But if you start thinking about a long-term relationship, this kind of self-explanatory. Materialistic gold diggers. Those are women who, honestly, they really just don't enjoy your companionship. You're a meal ticket. You're an opportunity for them to improve the quality of their lifestyle. They give you what I call doggy treat reward pussy. Remember the puppy dog I was talking about? You're such a good boy. You bought me a Porsche 911. Yes, you are. You're so good. You get to sniff my pussy tonight. Wannabe mistresses and side pieces, a.k.a. man thieves. These are women that, if you're single and unattached, they'll ignore you. But the moment you get a wife, fiance, or girlfriend, all of a sudden they're interested. God, Frank, you look so good in that suit. You look so sexy. And you're like, really? Thank you. Thank you, Brenda. Hey, I know you're getting married next week, but if you want some of this. Now, really, they just want the egotistical satisfaction of being able to steal you away from your wife, fiance, or long-term girlfriend. They want to fuck your relationship up. Don't let them, if you got a good thing going on, don't let these women fuck your shit up. Because they don't really want to disrupt your relationship because they genuinely want your companionship. They just want to see if they can steal you from another woman. It's like a competitive thing. Drama queens, self-explanatory. Women who are incredibly spoiled, incredibly argumentative, and in some cases, they suffer from a personality disorder, such as borderline personality disorder. Everybody saw Fatal Attraction. Bitch was crazy, wasn't she? Narcissistic personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder. You can usually see the red flags when they go off on something trivial like, I don't know, let's say you drank their last bottle of Lipton tea. A normal woman would say, did you drink my last bottle? Shame on you. Drama queen's like, oh my God, why did you do that? Do what? You drank my last bottle, you fuck! You're like, holy shit. I mean, I can go to the store and buy you some more. No, you drank my last bottle! Now, see, some guys will try to justify stealing a drug. They're like, hey, Alan, man, I don't know if you know, but like, psycho bitches got the best pussy. Like, seriously. You don't want to stay with a woman that just brings drama into your life unnecessarily. It's not worth it. Closet misandrous. Now, see, this is a word that the mainstream media doesn't use enough. I see misogyny all over the place. Misogyny, 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 misogyny. Misogynist, 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 misogynist. What about these fucking femisandras? There are women who are closet misogynists, meaning that they'll want to suck you into a relationship, if for no other reason, just because they want to get pregnant by you. They want your sperm to fertilize their egg. And then once they get pregnant by you, you are about to unleash the bitch from hell. They're going to try to emasculate you a lot of times in public, in front of people, verbally abuse you. They might even take some pots and pans and start hitting you upside the head. People think domestic violence is only a male thing. Not true. There are women who have physically assaulted their husbands, live-in lovers. Closet misandrous. And of course, liars, cheaters, and adulterers. Now it's funny, my book, Possibility of Sex, I've mentioned this a few times on my YouTube videos and other stuff. I got a lot of great feedback from that book. But a lot of guys, not a lot, but a good number of guys, they said, man, Alan, in some respects, that book left me depressed, man. That book left me depressed. Because Possibility of Sex and the Beta Male Revolution, I think all my books, to one degree or another, are red pill books. But I would say particularly Possibility of Sex and the Beta Male Revolution. Because this goes back, chapter 9 particularly left a lot of guys depressed. Because the main thing, and you can read it for yourself or listen to the audiobook, but the main point I'm making here is that, hey, women are going to fuck who they want to fuck. Women are going to fuck who they want to fuck. You might think because you putting a ring on a woman's finger that she ain't going to fuck nobody else. You better think again. Now, again, if you got a 5, maybe a 4 in your camp, you don't have anything to worry about. But if you marry a 2 or 3, Women are going to fuck who they want to fuck. How do I know this? Because one of the confessions I make in chapter 9 is that between roughly the age of 17 and 37, I had sex with roughly 36 women who at the time I fucked them had either a long-term boyfriend, a fiance, or a husband. Now, some guys, they criticized me for that confession. They said, man, bros before hoes, man, come on. But no, I did. I was fucking other dudes' women. Until around the age of 37, 38, I realized that I didn't like disrespecting my own gender like that. And I used, you could say, my sinful deeds to provide knowledge and wisdom to other guys who needed to wake the fuck up. Because women, if any of you men think you can cheat real good, I guarantee you women can cheat 2 to 3 times better. I wrote an article on a site I write for called The Negro Manosphere. Matter of fact, a lot of guys here have mentioned the Negro Manosphere. Yeah. It's funny. It shows how narrow-minded I could be. I was assuming that 98% of the guys who read the Negro Manosphere articles were, brothers like myself. But nope. I've had so many non-black guys come, yeah, I read your recent article on the Negro Manosphere. I'm like, really? Shout out O'Shea Duke Jackson. Matter of fact, Rollo was talking about how the manosphere has become so diverse. And, I forgot to give kudos to Rollo, because Rollo is the reason I was invited last year. I appreciate it. Now, Rollo, quick side note on Rollo. A lot of guys last year, I thought they, knew about me from my books, but every guy would come to me and say, Alan Roger Currie. I'm like, yeah, you read my books. No, I listened to the interview with Rollo on Blog Talk Radio. Every guy was like that. But Rollo, we had a great interview, still a highly listened to interview on Blog Talk Radio. But going back to what I was saying, yeah, women, here's how scandalous they are, and this is what I include in the article. Women will have a guy on the side, and in some cases, they'll introduce you to their boyfriend, fiance, or husband. That happened at least a handful of times. This is my friend Alan. We know each other from college. I mean, it's a weird feeling, man. Because I had to be phony and shake this dude's hand knowing I was fucking his woman. Hey, how you doing? Pleasure to meet you. But articles will have you believe that men cheat way more than women do. Dude, I'm telling you, if you don't believe anything else I'm saying. Women are going to fuck who they want to fuck. They might not plan on it, but if they run into a certain guy on a certain day who's able to get their pussy wet. Now, people always ask the question, I've heard men ask me the question, why do women cheat? Women ask me the question, why do men cheat? And the reason why you keep asking that question over and over and over again, because it's the wrong fucking question. The more appropriate question is, why do people with promiscuous and non-monogamous tendencies choose to give off an indefinite facade that they're monogamy-oriented? Why? If you're a man and you know you're promiscuous, you know you prefer non-monogamy, why are you pretending like you all about monogamy? I know why. Because you want ownership over that pussy. You want to own that pussy. You don't want any guy to think he could have access to your pussy, the pussy you own, or you think you own. You don't own any woman's pussy. Women own their pussy. That's one of the reasons why we had the second wave of feminism. Because women got tired of their fathers saying, you are my property. Husbands saying, you are my property. Women said, fuck that. A lot of you guys can whine and complain about it, but you got to respect women. They said, we ain't going to take this shit no more. They own their shit. You don't own it. Be thankful if a woman doesn't share her pussy with another man. Be thankful you found the right woman who has the type of values and ethics that won't do that. But I'm telling you, in the 21st century, today, most women are going to share their pussy with whoever the fuck they want to. Now, since I brought up the second wave of feminism, beta male revolution, damn, only got 10 minutes left, so I may have to go fast. But that's the last book I published. This was the most important period in the last 150 years, 1960 to 1974. Now, see, my mother, her and her sisters were scared to have sex before marriage because they were scared my grandfather would kick them out the fucking house. And most women in their generation were scared of that. But then, guess what? 1960, we came out with the birth control pill. What did that say to women? I can fuck who the fuck I want to fuck. They had to depend on a husband to provide them with a financially self-sufficient lifestyle because the second wave of feminism, they were able to gain better employment opportunities, higher salaries, had the sexual revolution, the free love movement, Roe versus Wade, and without getting all lengthy, the end result was women felt more comfortable. The social stigma was erased. They said, I can do with this what I want to do with it. Now, see, in my mother's generation, it would have been considered rude and crass and disrespectful for a man to propose casual sex to anyone. Because dating was all about finding your wife and finding your husband. But the second wave of feminism combined with the sexual revolution, women said, we want to be free to fuck whoever we want to fuck. So why would I feel like it's crass, disrespectful, and rude to tell a woman, I want to fuck her without her being my wife? Make that make sense to me. One of my golden rules, never confuse or conflate the appeal of your sexual attention and companionship with the appeal of your non-sexual attention and companionship, as well as the appeal of your financial resources and material possessions. Now, some might argue if you can get pussy with those two things, so be it. And yeah, so be it. But I'm just saying, there's 3 levels of female sexual interest. Genuine sexual desire and interest. I've heard, I want to say Rollo. I was watching a video where Rollo mentioned, he has this phrase where he says, you cannot See, they did that on purpose, man. They knew I was in my rhythm and shit, and they just, anyway. Those feminist sandwiches, you got to watch them. Yeah, Rollo said, I heard him say, you can't negotiate. I told him, we're on the same page with that. There's genuine sexual desire and interest, tangible or intangible incentivized sexual desire and interest, and then, of course, no sexual desire and interest at all. Genuine sexual desire and interest. That means that if you meet a woman and you let her know you want to fuck her, she's going to be willing to fuck you without you offering her anything extra. Basically, in simple, blunt terms, you're only exchanging access to your dick for access to her pussy. That's genuine sexual desire and interest. Tangible or intangible incentivized sexual desire and interest is when a woman is not completely interested in you sexually, but she's not completely not interested in you sexually. So she says, yeah, I might want to give you some, but what are you offering? Are you offering me long-term monogamy? Are you offering to help me raise children? Are you offering me short-term financial compensation or long-term financial security? Are you offering me materialistic gifts? What are you offering me? And then from there, you got to negotiate what you're willing to add extra as an extra incentive and reward for sexual companionship. And no sexual desire and interest at all. That means even if you were to offer women stuff, materialistic gifts, money, they still like, nah, I still don't want to fuck you. That brings me to my 4 archetypes, and I'm not going to go into too much detail for the sake of time. Total alpha males, they're going to get a lot of sex based on genuine sexual interest. The drawback to them, they're typically so promiscuous and so dominant that a lot of women don't want to be in marriages with them or long-term relationships with them. I've had many women. I interviewed a woman on my Patreon page who said that. She said, I don't want a guy that's total alpha or total beta. I want a guy that's kind of a blend of both. And her reason was, she said they're too total alphas are too uncompromising and generally too promiscuous. My next archetype is an alpha male with a few beta traits. You can almost think of this guy as the womanizing alpha male, and this is the alpha male that puts some degree of emphasis on monogamy in relationships. He likes to fuck, but he knows he ultimately wants a wife, a family, children. But if he does get married, if he does get a relationship, he's going to make sure he runs shit. Beta male with a few alpha traits and tendencies. That's the guy who's generally beta. And the biggest thing about beta males, they're so scared of losing a woman's sexual companionship that they're willing to do anything. They're willing to just supplicate to women, play up to women, basically do anything that women want them to do. And they get what I call that doggy treat reward pussy. If this guy doesn't have a high level of career success, financial success, status, he doesn't get laid. Period. Total beta males, a lot of them have become incels. They're just being ignored by women. Women don't even want their platonic companionship. And it's sad. I try to help a lot of guys who come to me that are self-proclaimed total beta males. Their self-esteem is low. They feel totally romantically and sexually undesirable. But for most of them, not all of them, most of them, there is hope. And I feel like I can contribute to a transformation from them. So those are my 4 books. I do email consultations, Skype and telephone consultations, one-on-one, face-to-face coaching sessions. That's my site, directapproachdating.com. You can find me also on Wikipedia. I'm Alan Roger Currie. Questions? Okay. No good. Oh, I see some guys.
How you doing? I'm right here. So I completely agree about the direct game, especially to people who's not in your social circle. Would it still be the same with people who are in your social circle to be that direct? Like, hey, I want to fuck you. Or would you have to be more careful? Because... Well, here's the first clarification.
Now, Alan Roger Currie, as you can tell from my speaking presentation, I like to use a lot of profanity, for better or for worse. I like to use a lot of sexually explicit language, for better or for worse. You don't have to use profanity or sexually explicit language to be Mode 1. Here would be an example. You meet a woman and you say, I find you very attractive, but I got to let you know up front, I have no interest whatsoever in becoming one of your new purely platonic male friends. I ultimately would like to be intimate with you. Now, did I just use any profanity?
No.
X-rated language? No. But I was Mode 1. Because you letting that woman know that, hey, I'm not talking to you because I want to share bowling alley stories with you. So there you go. Thank you, Randy, for that question.
If you had to make a direct verbal advance on a coworker, how would you do it?
Who paid him to ask me that question? Generally, I don't believe you should hit. My simple slogan is don't get laid where you get paid. I've done it before, and it invites you don't want that type of drama in the workplace. But if you want to be hard-headed, what you do is you don't hit on a coworker at all on work premises. A lot of times, like say, coworkers might get together at a happy hour or something. You make your move at that happy hour or some social event away from work. And then here's one tip you do. Let's say you get the coworker to suck your dick. You get another coworker to watch and supervise. And then, of course, the woman sucking your dick is going to say, I don't mind sucking your dick, but why is Cheryl here? And then you say, #MeTWO.
All right, there you have it. Alan, Roger Currie, let's give it up for him.